In the morning, and it's a Friday edition. Today, around the round table, as always, a big conversation with national implications. Ghana, a country renowned for its rich gold deposits and vibrant mining industry, is facing a crippling crisis. Illegal mining, popularly known as Galam, has taken hold, threatening the very foundations of the nation's environment, economy, and society. This clandestine activity has become a hydra-headed monster, leaving in its wake a trail of destruction and despair. The impact of illegal mining in Ghana is multifaceted and devastating. Environmental degradation, economic instability, social chaos, cultural erosion. Launched in 2017, the Ghanaian government's flagship initiative, Operation Vanguard, aimed to combat the surge in illegal mining activities, commonly referred to as Galam. And despite the initial successes, the scourge of illegal mining persists, threatening the country's environmental sustainability, economic stability, and social fabric. Ghana has struggled to balance the economic benefits of mining with the need to protect its environment and communities. The time has come to reassess strategies, intensify efforts, and walk the talk in tackling illegal mining. Today's roundtable aims to shine a light on the dark world of illegal mining in Ghana, exploring its causes, consequences, and potential solutions. We will delve into the complexities of this issue, examining the role of government, industry, and communities in addressing this crisis. We are privileged to have with us in the studio Professor Chris Gordon. He's a founding director, Institute for Environment and Sanitation Studies, University of Ghana. Prof, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Also, we have Prof. Gladys Nyako Ansa. She is the co-principal investigator of the University of York and UG's Galam research team. Welcome, Prof.
Thank you.
And also joining us via Zoom from Wassa East will be Honorable Isaac J. Mensah. He is an MP for Wassa East. He's a ranking member of the Roads and Transport Committee, and he's also a miner. So it will be interesting to hear what Honorable Isaac J. Mensah will also bring into the conversation. Halfway through the show, we will be joined by Dr. Richmond Yeboah, who is the head of Department of Tourism Management, Cape Coast Technical University, as well as the convener for the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining. That's Dr. Kenneth Ashibe. He would also join us. He will talk about the role of the media in the whole Galam thing. So it's actually a packed 2 hours of insightful discussion, tackling illegal mining in Ghana, walking the talk. So let's start with Prof. Let's start with Prof. Gladys. Now if I say Prof, there are two Profs, so I would have to continue.
My name is Chris Gordon.
Yeah, Gladys is fine.
Oh, I should take out the Profs.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, so Chris Gordon and Gladys. Okay, so let's start with Gladys. Let's give a bit of a background to this whole thing. Let's start from the what is illegal mining by definition? Because we are having mining in Ghana. What do we term illegal mining?
Anything that is illegal is prohibited, not allowed.
Okay.
So by that simple definition, you can say illegal mining is a type of mining that is not allowed by law.
Okay. We have small-scale mining.
Yes.
And we have Galam.
Yes.
What is the difference?
Galam is not allowed by law.
Why?
Small-scale mining. Okay, so if you go to a facility and there are 2 entry points or whatever, or when you go to the hospital and you see a sign, a man or woman urinating, and they put a big cross and they say prohibited, not allowed. Why do they have those signs? Anything that is prohibited by law, it means the framers of the law, in their wisdom, they see that there are serious or potential serious repercussions if that activity is conducted. So if it is prohibited by law, it means that we have all agreed that this is not permissible because of actual or potential problems that it might cause. So illegal mining, Galam, is a type of mining activity that is not sanctioned by law. It is not allowed. It doesn't mean that every kind of mining is not allowed, but there are certain kinds of mining activities that are not allowed. And if you engage in them, then you are committing illegality. So galamsey is an act of mining or series of acts of mining that violate the laws of Ghana. Illegal, prohibited, not allowed, not permissible, because of the actual and potential dangers those activities may cause to the people who engage in the activity, people in their immediate environment, and the larger society.
Okay.
So, I mean, a lay person's definition. This is not technical at all.
Okay, yeah, I understand. Chris Gordon, historically, if I could go to the back of my house in the village and go farm and grow my kontomire and my cocoyam and all that, why can't I dig behind my house for gold? Historically, what has been the antecedent?
Well, historically, we have always done that. And remember, galamsey means gather and sell.
Oh, that's what it actually means. Gather and sell.
Gather
them.
Gather them
and sell.
And sell.
That is galamsey.
Okay.
And the difference is a question of scale. But back to your question, why can't you? But that is what we've done. That's why Ghana was called Gold Coast. They were called Gold Coast before any large-scale mine or any law came about gold mining. The gold littered our land. People would go to the river and pick nuggets. In fact, we've had cases of people who have found bottles buried in the sand, full of nuggets that someone has collected maybe 200 years ago and forgotten where he buried it. And now the sea has exposed it, a bottle of nuggets. There's nothing wrong because it was part of our culture. The difference now that we are having is that in the recent past, in the past few decades, the scale has changed. Before it was one man, pickaxe, shovel, and a pan to wash the gold. Now we have chamfans, we have excavators, we have all sorts of large-scale, industrial-scale activities. Now you said one man, why can't he do it behind his backyard? He could do that. But now you find that a lot of the people who are involved in illegal mining, and I'm not calling it galamsey, I'm calling it illegal mining, are not even indigents of Ghana, or even of the village where, as you said, you could go behind your backyard and farm. So we have a situation to do an, I think the word, you're the language person, is it analogy? Yes. that you have gone, before you used to go to your backyard and farm your okra and so forth. One day you wake up and you find that some industrial group have come and planted large-scale teak plantation in your backyard, taking your land. And teak, you cannot use that land for anything else because it's poison.
You're not going to cook it.
Yes, you can't cook it. You can't use
trouble.
it. You're in trouble. Putting you in poverty. And then we are looking on, watching these teak trees or this galamsey taking place, and you're doing nothing. And the people who are in these communities are actually suffering because the benefit doesn't come to the community, it goes out.
So let me come to Gladys. What are the current stats looking like? Because I mean, Chris said this thing is ramped up now, bigger machines and all that. What are we looking at in terms of current statistics and trends?
Well, the literature put it this way: about 200,000 people are directly involved in galamsey. directly, 200,000. Wow. But over 2.5, nearly 1 million people depend on Galamsey activities for their livelihoods.
Oh, wow.
So there's a value chain.
Yeah, it's a value chain. There's somebody going in there, digging, bringing it out. Somebody is doing this and adding.
And over 2.5 million hectares destroyed in the process. So these are the current...
Oh, wow, this is scary.
Yeah.
And where are these hectares? Where are these places that are being destroyed? If you take the whole Ghana, where are these things happening? Not in Accra, not in
approximately 14, about 10 out of the 16 regions.
Yes.
10 out of?
Yes. So in Eastern region, in Central region, parts of Ashanti, Brown-Hafo, Upper East, or the northern sector.
Where in Ghana is Galamsey least affected? Which region?
No, we are all affected.
We're all affected.
Even Greater Accra?
Yes.
The food you eat, do you know how much heavy metal is in that kinky you ate this morning?
Yeah. In the plantain, you like greens, the kontomire you are eating. The peppers, maybe you don't go to the kitchen.
Hey, you can't assume that.
Yeah, I said maybe. In the past, if you needed 2 pieces of pepper, raw fresh pepper, to make your sauce, now you need about 10 because it's not
taste.
peppery.
Yeah, no taste.
Oh, wow.
No, it is not. It is not. When you buy watermelon, you cut it, you have to eat it all today. If you leave it in the fridge, by morning, it's slippery.
It's spoiled.
It's spoiled. Fresh yam is in season now. You buy fresh yam, and the weather is fine, it is not hot now. You cut a piece, you leave it 3 days, it's rotten.
There's nowhere in Ghana.
You buy pawpaw, the taste has changed. Oranges, the taste, you buy bananas, they don't taste like your usual bananas anymore. So we can pretend that we live in Accra and we are not affected by Galamsey. We are consuming all the Galamsey infested food, the heavy metal thing. They are here, they bring them here.
Even the dust that is in the air in Accra, the dust comes from as far as the Sahara. It's carrying arsenic, cyanide, all of these things. We shouldn't fool ourselves thinking that we're in Accra so it doesn't affect us. But I'll tell you, if I went to La Beach and pretended that I had found gold in the sand, you see what will happen.
Yeah.
Overnight, the whole place will vanish.
I know that's a very good analogy. It means if tomorrow somebody said, "Oh, we found gold behind along the shores behind the Black Star Square."
Yeah.
Oh.
The next day we'll be digging under the
No, not the next day, the night, by the time you wake up.
Let's tackle the consequences one by one. Environmental, deforestation and land pollution. What is the situation like, Chris?
Well, it is so unfortunate that in the process of digging, they have to destroy the land cover. So by definition, all the trees, all the commercial trees are destroyed. People have gone to bed and come and found their cocoa farm has vanished. Gladys mentioned the fact that we have 2.5 million hectares of land which has vanished. And the problem with that is, once you remove the
land cover,
that means you have erosion. And that is what is causing all this silted rivers which are red in color and so forth. It's all because of the removal of land cover. And remember, this land cover is land cover that is valuable in that it's providing benefits to the people. A lot of our people in the rural areas, in fact, they rely on trees for everything. They call them non-forest, non-timber forest products. So the forest is their pharmacy. The forest is where they get foods, the snails, the herbs, everything is coming from there, and you take it all off. Now there's been a new development in the last 7 years or so. I should say that when Operation Vanguard was initiated, I think 2017, the University of Ghana formed a mining research group which brought many different disciplines all together, from people who are expert in language, like, yes, but we also had political scientists, we had environmentalists, chemists, and so forth. And along the past years now, so it's about 7 years, is that right?
Yeah.
It's 7 years now we've been operating. We have found there's been an introduction of a new device, that is the metal detector. So we see the people with the chamfan digging the rivers. But now we have people with the metal detectors, they call it quang quang.
Quang quang.
Because that's the sound it makes.
Sound,
yes.
Okay.
Who are now entering into people's farms. And they're digging pits in the farm. So it's now back like the one man behind his. But the people have to hire the machine because it's quite expensive. So they come and they dig, and next thing you know, your farm is just a series of holes. And if it so happens that they detect the metal under a tree, they'll fell the tree.
That tree is gone.
That's gone. In fact, I've been told that a former member of parliament, I've forgotten his name, he buried his mother. And then he went back about 3 months later. The cemetery was gone. The cemetery has gone. They had used this machine to detect gold and had dug everything they could dig. So the land degradation issue is so serious. And what is sad is we are mortgaging our future. And remember that every kilogram of soil that is washed away through the stream and gets into a river and ends in the sea, it means the sovereign state of Ghana is reducing in size. Ghana is going through Galamsey to Nigeria in the form of sediment.
Oh wow, that's a scary picture.
Yeah. So the queen, the one interesting thing about it is that it is not smart enough to distinguish between a nail.
Oh, every metal is metal.
Every
Yes.
metal detector,
So
a gold detector.
you wake up and the middle of your compound, there's a pit there, and
They didn't get gold. They just dug it. It was an old metal plate that was
nail, whatever. But that's
just
what
destroy the land and move
Yeah.
on. I've seen people who, it's their hobby. They walk by the seaside with metal detectors looking for old coins. Are those the metal detectors that people are using?
Yes.
Because those are not smart. Those are just going to tell you there is something
that
down
is what they are using. And because they can't buy the very expensive high detection capability, this just says there's something there.
They'll dig it.
And they'll dig it. The other type, which is more focused, will say, just dig at this place. They will dig.
Yeah, because if you put it there, oh wow. And then you spoke about the land being washed into water. So the next one is water. So not only is the land being degraded, it's now entering water. How polluted are our water bodies?
In fact, there's a map that just came out. I can't display it now, but basically there's no water in this country now, apart from maybe the middle of the Lake Volta, that is not under some sort of pollution. And that, if you expand it to beyond the heavy metals into microplastics and things, there's no water in Ghana which is unpolluted. Every water has got, even your bottled water you're drinking, there are nanoplastics in it. We have pharmaceuticals, that is breakdown products of medication, which is in the water. But the problem, the main problem we are having with water is the sediment load. And this has ended up with some of the Ghana Water Company facilities not being able to produce water because there's not enough water. It is mud. It is mud. They cannot purify that water. The sedimentation also causes the rivers to dry up, so they don't even have the water to extract. And on the side is that when you have a lot of sediment in your water, you have to put so many chemicals in the water to let the sediment settle. And the normal sediment is a sedimentary product they use, which is ferrous ammonium sulfate, alum. Can't work, so they have to buy more expensive. Meanwhile, if we increase the price of water to the consumer, they'll complain.
That will be a big issue.
Yes. So Galamsey has so many implications on our lives. So many implications. There's one last thing. Mm-hmm. We are seeing the surface water, but the pollution enters the groundwater. So we see the brown rivers and things, sediment,
and that's what we're complaining about.
But we have groundwater pollution with heavy metals. So you may not be close to a Galamsey site, but the aquifer, which is under the ground, is there. So you dig your borehole, the water comes out, it looks clear, because you cannot see the heavy metals in it.
Wow.
Scary.
Yeah, it's scary. Loss of biodiversity.
Yep.
Because if the trees are going, the insects, the birds, the reptiles.
Bushmeat. In Ghana, we like our bushmeat. It's all gone. But there's a side thing of this that is quite interesting. You see, we have some diseases which are called zoonotic diseases. They're in the animal population, but they can transfer to man. But usually they don't transfer because there's a separation between the human being and the wild animal. What is happening is the Galamsey is destroying the natural forest. So species like bats are now flying and nesting in villages and carrying virus that should be in the animal population into the human body. So coronavirus is one of such a virus, which originated in a wild population, was brought in. We have another one, Nipah virus, which they found in Ghana. We have a study ongoing looking at bats and villages and how the risk factor. I don't know how Mpox is transmitted. But you see, as soon as you destroy the natural habitat, the animals have to go somewhere. It's like destroying the savanna areas. The elephants go to the people's crops.
Yeah, trample them.
Yeah, exactly. You see, so you can't do one side and not expect that it's going to have an impact on the other. The ecosystem is, everything is linked. Gladys has talked about how the food tastes and how food is rotting and so forth. We're all part of the ecosystem. We haven't talked about the impact on our health, and we'll talk about that later.
What about they themselves? They the miners.
Oh.
Maybe you can throw an invitation to your listeners. If anybody knows or has a family member who has suffered a disease or death as a result of Galamsey, let them call you.
Look, apart from that, even this week, a student at KNUST, he died in a pit trying to save somebody else. Final year student waiting for his results. He's dead.
He went to do Galamsey?
No, he was visiting the area, saw somebody struggling in a pit and thought he could save him. He died in the process. Think of the trauma to the family. They've lost a son. Think about the investment they had in that son. Now, to the question that you asked, a recent study was done, it was not even a study, it was accidental. There are a number of deaths, maternal deaths, with people who originated from Galamsey, and they had to do autopsy. When they did the autopsy, they found deformed fetus. One case, a foot was growing from the chest. Another had 3 legs. Several cases at Akomfondochi. This was reported in the news some time back. We've had cases where when you go to the villages and you talk to the miners, they are suffering with so many ailments. Apart from the skin fungal diseases and things, there are things that are within their body. So the heavy metals affect spermatogenesis. That is the production of sperm. You have sperm with 2 tails. It doesn't know which way it's going to swim. So you have impotence in men, infertility in women, difficult birth, you have chronic cough, you have mental impairment. Because one of the side effects of heavy metal, you're looking here, one of the side effects of heavy metals, lead especially, it reduces the cognitive capacity of the child. So even if the child is given the opportunity to learn, they cannot because they do not have the IQ, the brain, to learn. So we are creating a generation of morons. So, and what a moron cannot find any work. He cannot go to school. So what work will he do? Is it not the same Galamsey?
Would there be gold for him to dig in his moronic state? 3 decades and 5 decades from now, Ghana 57, when we're 100 years, would there be any gold to dig? But, okay, so if these things that you're talking about, are they evident in these towns?
Yes.
Yes, they know.
Oh, you can go talk to the health directorate in the towns, in the districts. They have statistics. They have them.
That everybody knows, because you see, one of the reasons I'm asking this question is that we have a culture where if we shun you because of something negative about you, it sends a stronger warning than any other thing. So I'm saying that, is there that thing in the village that everybody knows that this guy from this house, he went to do Galam and say, look, now he has this skin disease, so that children are warned of these things.
There's one in your house. There's one in my house.
Everybody.
They all know it.
And
There's
they all
one
have
in his
somebody.
house. So who shuns who?
They all have it. They all have
I
it.
lived in a Galamsey area growing up, in part, in the eastern region. But that's in the late 80s up to the mid-90s. But at the time, it was the one man, two people kind of thing. Even then, right, my first train ride was from the Kade-Huni Valley line. They dug under the rail line, very close to the rail line, to the point that the line was collapsed. Nobody, the train could not ply that route anymore because they had dug so close. I went to school there. Children, primary school, class 4, are sexually active because those areas, it's not gold, it's diamond. Diamond was in abundance where we first went there. Heavy rains, people will come to our house, our compound, to pick diamonds. I had never seen diamond before. They show it to you. This is diamond. I said, I can't see it. among the stones. But the thing is, class 4, class 5, they are already sexually active. There's money. Yep. Diamond dealers are giving them money. By the time they are 14, 15, they are married. So there's no school. I have classmates who got married at 14 or 15. Yeah, 14. By the time their children are 14, they are also married. So 28, you are a grandmother. Our Ghana's population is shooting. Go to the Galamsey site and see fatherless children. They don't know their fathers because people come from all over outside Ghana. They impregnate the girls, they give them little money. As soon as you tell them you are pregnant, they are off. So you have all kinds of social problems. It's not just the environment, yep. the physical environment, the social fiber of the Ghanaian society. Now, if you have a child growing up without a father, there is hardship, there's all kinds of things. Mental health issues are growing in the country. You know where they are coming from. You know, so that we need to do something about it. It's a very, very, maybe if you go beyond the physical thing and just focus on the social, you'll be marveled. If you go to the communities where these things have happened over a period, talk to the people. So that's what we do. I don't test the water quality, I see it. But I talk to the people. So the linguist of the project, we talk to the people. We listen to their stories. We listen to what they are saying in order to get the depth of the social dynamics, the issues. It's a very serious matter.
Economic-wise, how is this affecting us?
Oh. You know, I was told that there was a plane that landed somewhere, emergency landing somewhere in either Middle East or in Europe. And by the laws of that country, they had to inspect the plane. The amount of gold on that plane was about the amount that Ghana legally reports. Yeah. What is going out as economic loss is equivalent to what the small-scale mining legal, the large-scale mining. But I want to touch upon this issue that Gladys is, because it is very important. I was on a program once, and I was attacked afterwards because I said Galamsey is a mental problem. It comes from the mind. Yeah. And I was accused of saying that I'm saying Ghanaians are mad.
Are we not?
Oh.
No, are we not? What normal
human being
would put poison in their environment so that they will take the poison in their body, in the water they drink, in the food they eat, in the air they breathe? Is it normal?
No, I'm coming back to the financial. So I say it's a mindset thing. Now, one of the issues of a strong nation is a healthy workforce. Now, do we have that? You see, these people are doing effectively lotto. They don't know what they will get today. They don't know what they'll get. And instead of putting their effort into something that is productive and nation building, they're putting that effort into something that is destructive and nation destroying. So it doesn't matter how much money they get individually, personally. The fact is, as a nation, it is a huge, huge financial loss. Ghana Water Company will tell you the amount of chemical they need to import to purify the water so you can drink is far, far more than what should be needed if the water was not polluted. When you look at our cocoa production, one of the reasons our cocoa has gone down is many, many acres of cocoa farm have been destroyed because of Galamsey. So the financial implications are huge. One of our institutes at Legon, that is ISA, our Institute for Social and Economic Research, calculated that we are losing at least 4 to 6% of our GDP from environmental degradation. Yeah. So the situation, it doesn't matter which sector you look at it. The railway thing is transport. The loss of cocoa farms, that agriculture. Children who are dropping out, that is education. Malformed babies, that is health. There's no aspect, no sector of our economy which is not being impacted now by Galamsey.
Is this the biggest threat to ever hit our existence? Is this an existential threat to this country? The biggest we've ever had since independence.
Okay, Chris, before you answer that, the economic thing, you know, a lot of people who do Galamsey don't pay tax.
Of course, it's illegal in the first place.
So they are destroying the environment, they are destroying people's health.
And we're not getting anything as a nation.
And they are not paying, and they are making money. They are putting, it is not the people in the pit who make the money.
Yeah.
No.
The miners don't make the money.
The people in the pit don't have the money to buy the big equipment. It's people who are sitting in Accra and Kumasi and big cities who have money and think that they are so removed from the problems of Galamsey. They are the ones that are funding. So they buy excavators and you rent the excavator. They don't go into the pit. You rent the excavator, so they are sitting in Accra and chopping the benefits of the disaster, and they are not paying rent, they are not paying tax to the government. They are not reclaiming the land that they are mining. If you stand here, when you go to the field, you can see like from here to American House. No, that's close. The junction that goes to ANC Mall, destroyed. You can see it. There's nothing there.
Just pits.
I mean, the places that they claim to have reclaimed. But the pits, you can see maybe from here to ANC Mall itself.
Full of pits.
Pits. And they don't pay 1 pesewa to the government, to the assemblies, to reclaim the land. So in terms of economic loss, this dimension too is there. Maybe, I don't know, if we are going to destroy the land and we are going to destroy the country together, maybe we should pay to destroy it. We should pay tax.
Existential threat.
You know, globally, we have 3 grand challenges for the globe. The first is climate change. The second is loss of biodiversity. And the third is environmental degradation. Galamsey drives all of them.
All 3.
In this country.
Yeah.
Climate change, we need trees.
Exactly.
Galamsey is destroying it. Biodiversity loss, Galamsey destroys the forests. And the environmental degradation is obvious. So in terms of the existence, and this is the sad thing that some people think that they will not be affected.
Yeah.
Oh, it's happening in the bush. It's happening in the bush. And it pains me to say, and I have to be very careful at how I say this in case I'm made persona non grata in certain chiefdoms, that if a chief of the area knows or claims he does not know that Galamsey is happening on his land, It's not possible. The excavator has gone through your lands. And there are boys in the towns who collect money as tax as the excavator goes. And I'm going to propose something to, if there's anybody from government listening, that every chief has a tenure of office. They come in, they're installed. And just as we have asset declarations supposed to happen for politicians, we can have declaration of natural capital by chiefs. We have satellite imagery of when you were installed, how much land was forested, how much was urbanized, how much was farming. Then 5 years, let's take another picture and see how much of that land is now Galamsey and degraded. It is obvious. But back to the social aspect, because for me, there's so many studies we've done on the water quality, environmental degradation, habitat loss, and so on. That tells us the magnitude of the problem. It doesn't solve the problem. The ecological restoration that should be there can only come after the social and cultural benefits have been made very clear to the people that we have to fix this. There was a time on the Accra Cape Coast Road, I think it was Toyota. They had signboards, billboards. 33 people died here. Yeah. 27 people died here. As a warning.
Yeah.
They are still there.
They're still,
yeah,
they're
those
still
red.
Red,
yes.
Yeah. Right now the traffic to Cape Coast is so bad I don't even go. Yeah. But why can't we have, as you enter a village, in this village we had 20 maternal mortalities. We had 27 pit deaths from Galamsey. We are hiding it. It should be up front and center. And this is something that the young people, the people who are going to inherit the earth, they should take charge. But unfortunately, as Galis has pointed out, they are captured by the Galamsey mystique so young. 14-year-old girl having a child. The body is not even developed properly. On that child thing, we also have an issue of non-Ghanaian nationals.
Plenty.
Which contributes to this absent fatherhood. We have people from Burkina Faso, Mali, China, Malaysia. They come, they get what they can get and go. So what we have, Chinglish, is it?
Chinglish.
Yeah, yes.
Chinese English.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you go to the mining villages, yeah, they are there. The children, yeah, they are there. And you see, if you were fathered by another African, maybe by your color and features, we could hide it. And
we wouldn't know.
But they are Chinese children.
Black Chinese.
They are
Ghanaian Chinese.
Yes, they are not
or
black.
Chinese Ghanaians.
Yeah, and they are speaking Tree or whatever they are there, and they are calling them Chinese or I'm a China. Think about what it is going to do to the psyche of this child. Why am I so different?
Yes.
Where's my father?
Before we go into solutions, now that we've painted a good picture of what is really happening, before we go into the solutions, there's one more angle I want us to look at. What is the process like? Because you mentioned something that, okay, so there's a rich guy in Accra. He's the one who, or in Kumasi or in Takrady or wherever.
Or US.
Even abroad.
Or US.
They invest in Galamsey.
So run me through the Galamsey value chain, the business of Galamsey. Where does it start? Who is initiating these things?
Okay, so you have a teeming population of young people.
Okay, no work to do there in the villages.
To do. And now if you go to the villages, only old people are farming.
Yep.
Reason why you buy one small tuber of yam for 35 cedis, 40 cedis. Nobody is farming. They are all here in Accra. So, or Kumasi or Tamale or Takrady, wherever. They are frustrated. They've seen their parents farm for all their lives, and they are still poor. They've seen the land, some of them, the land of their parents have been taken over by Galamsey. So there's nowhere to farm. And they are intelligent, they reason. What is the point?
Yeah.
Strangers are coming to our land when we sing Yangara, Asasini, this one is for them. Strangers come and take the money and leave us diseases and poverty. And we don't even have money to treat the disease. So, or die be die. Let me also go and get the money and enjoy short time. If I die, I die. If I tell you how Galamseyers spend their money, you will marvel. They know they are doing a dangerous job. They can go anytime. And they don't want to leave the money they make behind for anybody to come and spend. So in the late 80s, early 90s, where I lived, when they had abundance of diamond, well, I also went to school in Akwatia, and it's a big Galamsey place. They would hire one person. That's how they spend their money. I hire 3 taxis. I put one shoe, the pair, I divide one in the first taxi, the other one in the third taxi, and I am sitting in the second taxi. And they are
Just to show you that I have money to blow.
they are playing loud music. Yeah, they are going to the next town to eat fufu in a choba. That's how they spend their money.
How are they making the money?
Galamsey.
Yes, so they go mine
No,
and then
okay,
what?
so-
Because you said the guy mining is not the one making money.
No, the little money they get.
Okay.
That's what
Money-
I mean.
Yes.
The little money,
Yeah,
they are
because
not investing.
comparatively,
Yes.
he knows.
And you
You
can,
go tomorrow and get, so it's like, you know what they call by day? Do you know by
Yeah,
day?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
In the villages, farming communities, what they say by day, you go and weed my farm.
Exactly, they
Today
pay you
I
something,
pay you.
yeah.
That's what they do. Galamsey, the people who are in the pit, they are like by day workers.
Okay.
You are the kingpin. You
Where am I? I the kingpin. Am I in the bush with him?
oh no.
no.
Okay.
You
I'm
are
sitting
not.
in the city.
And you have
Or
like
in
a
the US.
foreman
Okay.
who is supervising them. So at the end of the day, they come and make sales.
What are they bringing? The gold?
Yes.
They're bringing the gold, which is bought by a local buyer who is not giving them the world price of gold.
I the kingpin. Am I the one buying the gold?
No. You have a middleman on site who will buy the gold, the raw gold, and in some cases, it's not cleaned. So then that person will send to somebody who will refine it, probably using mercury or some sort of toxic thing. And then they'll collect it through that middleman and send it to Accra or Kumasi.
Oh, they used to go to Togo.
Togo, yeah.
Because you can't come and sell gold or diamond like you sell anything. There are specific places,
Yeah.
and you need to have like a license.
Precious minerals.
Yes, they will not go there.
They will go to precious
You know,
minerals.
Togo has a diamond exchange, but they don't have a diamond mine.
Yeah, they go to Togo.
No, you see.
Ghanaians are taking. Okay, so
No, they're
the
not.
value
They're
chain.
everybody. Because we have all people from the whole of West Africa who come to descend on Ghana, because Ghana is seen as an easy place to do illegality. Some take it to Cameroon.
Yeah.
Some take it because you can go through the airport and you have a bar of gold, which is gold is now, I think, 1,800 an ounce. So if you have a bar of gold the size of a phone, that's money. And if you can get it through various means out of the country, then you sell it at the world price. So you have the financial backer, who is not only the financial backer, but is also the political backer. The one who, when the boys get in trouble, he can pick a phone
Yep.
and instruct somebody,
Let my people go.
yes, to instruct that Whoever has caught them should let the people go. Now, this is illegal. So there's a lot of guns involved. So Galamsey is also bringing in gun trafficking.
Which is a security
issue. Security issue. And now what they are doing is that some of the armed gangs, they wait for the Chinese to get the gold. There's a recent case of $900,000 was stolen. They wait for them to collect, to do the hard work, then they just come in and rob. But there's another thing that I want to touch upon because Gladys mentioned the health thing. The incidence of sexually transmitted diseases in these communities is far above average. Far above average.
And the reason being?
Outsiders are coming in.
If you have money.
If you have money, there's a transactional sex that is taking place among the young women. And as she said, they want to blow the money. So they can just waste all their money on one night, hoping and praying that tomorrow they'll get another one. And because they know there's no future in what they're doing, they live from day to day, hand to mouth.
Interesting.
Well, some girls and women, sometimes even married women, actually migrate and go to the camp where they are doing the Galamsey, pretend to be selling food, but they sell more than food. They sell food in the morning and afternoon and sex in the night. They go and they have regular boyfriends in their own communities. So this Galamsey person, today it's you, the next day another person. And each one of them who has a regular boyfriend, husband, takes whatever they have taken from this strange person.
We're going to look after that one.
But it's not just money. Sometimes
it's something else.
Some disease.
The disease. They take the disease.
Dr. Richmond Yeboah has joined us, and he's done some work on the government and regulatory response. I want to hear from him. Good morning, Dr. Yeboah. It's a delight to have you on ZFM this morning. So we're talking Galamsey today, and it's our knowledge that you've done some studies on how government has dealt with this problem that far. What can you share with us on illegal mining in Ghana and government's response, sir?
Thank you very much, Jerry, and my regards to your panel and then also to your listeners. I've been following the discussions, and I think that Prof and the other analysts have dealt with the economic, social, and the environmental issues perfectly. And one thing that I want to add is that these issues that we are talking about also has some difficulties for the local people. So, for example, the local people become poor because they are not involved in this. Some of them, or most of them, are not involved in this illegal activity. And so, because of the fact that inflation keeps on going on in these areas, the people who are not involved are always poor. And issues with the water are very difficult to find, so you pay more for water. And so it is a very serious thing that beyond the environmental issues, we have to take a critical look at. Talking about the regulatory regimes, I think that all of us understand that illegal mining, or Galamsey, as we call it in the local language, is not a new thing. We've done illegal mining for more than a century. I am from Vuase, and the history tells me that for so many years, people have been involved in illegal mining. But the issue is that today, it is not only the ordinary or the local people who are involved in illegal mining. We have politicians or politically exposed persons who are part of what we are talking about. Apart from that, there's Chinese involvement. And not only Chinese, I did a work in Amansi, and I realized that even Russians were part of the foreigners who were involved in illegal mining. Burkina Fabe, people from Togo, and then Cote d'Ivoire. And so these are very serious issues. Now, coming to the government attempt in regulating this space, you realize in the 80s, we didn't have these laws. So in 1989, the then head of state, Chairman Rawlings, and the PNDC government enacted the PNDC law LI 218 to regulate the small-scale mining space. We didn't have small-scale mining. Mining by law was only on large scale. But the government recognized that the local people were interested in mining. So in 1989, government enacted the law to get some local people who are interested in mining some licenses so that they can also engage in mining. So this was to restrict people from doing illegal mining. If you are interested in doing mining, you can go for a license and operate as a legal small-scale mining. Unfortunately, this did not work because of the legal regimes. People could not go for licenses, and so there were issues of there were issues of illegal mining again. So in September 2006, President Kufuor realized that mining companies were complaining because illegal miners were going into their concessions. So what happened was that there was an operation against, so the Operation Flash or Fight Against Illegal Mining in 2006 September was launched to make sure that we are able to deal with illegal mining. Unfortunately, it did not work, even though the military was involved and all that. In 2013, there was also another attempt by government to clamp down illegal miners. But this time, the issue was very serious because in the past, illegal miners used traditional equipment like hoe, pickers, and all that. But by 2013, there was a foreign involvement. There was funding from politicians and people who are politically exposed. And so in this case, people were using machines, and machines were causing so much damage to our resources, water, and then also biodiversity. So the government responded by forming an interministerial task force, which was made up of the 5 members, the Ministry of Environment, Lands, and Natural Resources, and all that. They were involved to make sure that they clamped down on this. And we could realize that a lot of Chinese were in this space, and most of them were arrested and also deported. The challenge is that the decision to deport these foreigners, but not to prosecute, was a problem. Because if you deport a Chinese or a Russian, the person goes, and what the person needs to come back is only his or her air ticket. So in the case of Aisha Huan came to Ghana, she was deported, she came back again and was doing illegal mining. Because the fact is that if you don't prosecute and you only deport, the person does not see this to be any serious punishment. Because if you have, let's say, 40,000 Ghana cedis, you can move out and come back to Ghana again. And so these people were deported, but they came back again to work in the illegal mining space. But before I continue, if I am to define what I term as illegal mining, I am talking about all mining activities that are outside legal framework. So for example, if you may have a license to operate a small-scale mining, but your activity has a foreigner involved, that becomes illegal mining. Because if you go to the laws, the Ghanaian law says that small-scale mining is reserved for only Ghanaians. So the Act 2006, and some of them have been amended, all right, but the Act says that small-scale mining operations are for Ghanaians. So once you are not a Ghanaian and you operate in small-scale mining, it is illegal. Apart from that, you may have a license to prospect for gold, But other times people go and instead of prospecting, they are mining. It is also illegal. Then also we have people who may have the license, but they go beyond what they are mandated to do. Others will mine in river bodies. It becomes illegal. And so these are the issues that I'm talking about. So government attempted and it didn't work. So in 2017, the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining, they were very strong, vocal in terms of campaigning against the devastation of illegal mining and the Chinese involvement. And so this current government responded by forming the Operation Vanguard. And Operation Vanguard was launched, and a lot of people were arrested, both Ghanaians and Chinese citizens. But unfortunately, these activities continue to go on because people who were to go and fight against this did not also understand the legal regime. So, for example, in some places, the military went and saw people who were mining. They thought that they have licenses. But even though they might have a prospecting license, they don't have a license to mine. And apart from that, others also they did not have any entry permit from the Forestry Commission, and they were mining in the forest. And other times, military men, it's alleged that they were even protecting some illegal miners. But government thought that the problem is from the local people, and so we should find a way to control this. So the government launched the community mining scheme to provide opportunities for local players, people who are in the local communities, to engage in mining. It was realized that government realized that small-scale mining had become big, and the local people in the communities are unable to acquire licenses to mine. And so the community mining scheme was introduced to give opportunities to the local people to also take part in mining. Unfortunately, as we speak today, for me, I even say that community mining scheme has become legalized illegal mining, because government has given licenses to people to do community mining. Unfortunately, these people do not come from the local area. Most of them are not from the local area. For example, you come to Adansi Asokwa, you have people mining in the district, and these people are not from the local area. And these people, because they are not from the local area, it becomes illegal. And apart from that, their activities are not sustainable. They have been given licenses to mine. Unfortunately, some of them are mining in the river bodies. They are using chemicals that they are not supposed to use. And so you put all of this together, government over the years have attempted to deal with illegal mining, but unfortunately, because of the fact that there are politically exposed persons involved, politicians, some people who fund political parties are involved, government is unable to clamp down, unable to deal with people, prosecute them. And apart from that, we're also looking at issues of diplomatic relations. So, for example, why is it that Chinese come to Ghana, and when they come and they are engaged in mining, we're unable to prosecute them but deport them, and they come back again? If you realize, or if you remember, in 2018 thereabout, Aisha Huan was arrested, and the senior minister says that people are calling for the prosecution of Aisha Huan and all that. If we do that, how are we going to assess the 2 billion Sino-Hydro loan from China? And so we have to form a very good relation with the Chinese government and all that. So some of us think that diplomatic relations, of course, play a role in the reasons why government is unable to prosecute Chinese miners. Then again, if you look at all the attempt by government, I see them to be knee-jerk. Government only responds to these issues when they are heavy on the people, when government realizes that these are serious issues. There's no proper planning, there's no proper coordination. Apart from that, there's lack of stakeholder consultation. The people who give the licenses are all in Accra. So they give licenses and they go to the local areas, they do their own activities without even going through the chiefs. And so I think that there are some lapses in the regulations, and apart from that, the programs that government put together were not strong enough, coordinated enough to make sure that we're able to fight illegal mining. And so I think that going forward, there's the need to have the local people, the chiefs, deeply involved in mining licenses. Once they are deeply involved, they know the concession, the size of the concession, who is involved and all that. And the local people are able to protect their own environment. They should understand the fact that, yes, issues of environmental degradation, climate change and all that, climate change is global, but the impact will be felt more by the local people. So once they understand all of this, I think that they should be able to protect their own lands against environmental degradation, because they are going to pay the biggest price. So these are some of the issues that I think I can, as a way of introduction, can highlight in this discussion.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Richmond Yeboah. Just to touch base with the chiefs, you said they should be part of the mining licensing, but you had also said that the community mining thing that they tried eventually became a illegality. How will we ensure that even if the chiefs get into it, this time around, it won't become an illegality?
Okay, so for example, the community mining scheme, the licenses are given by the Minerals Commission without the involvement of the local people. So the local people, I was doing some work in Amansia South, and the people told me that in the past they tried to protect their forest. So anytime they see people in the forest, they reported them, and at that time they even fought with them. But unfortunately, people are arrested and nothing happened to them. And so they felt that if they don't get themselves involved and also mine and have benefits of good, what happens is that people from outside the community will come and mine and take everything. So they also got themselves involved. So I think that once they are involved, they know who has been given a concession. And for example, if the community mining scheme, concession should be given to local people who come from Amansia, for Amansia to work in Amansia, people who come from Adanse to work in Amansia, people who come in Cape Coast to work in Cape Coast. And if we do that, then of course we are going by the dictates of the law. The involvement of the chiefs here will assist us to know who is working in the area but does not have a license, because if chiefs are involved, they know whoever is involved in mining in the area. And so if an illegal person comes around, so for example, if the person has been given a prospecting license, the chiefs are aware that this person is only prospecting, so the person cannot go ahead and have mining, large-scale mining in the area or small-scale mining. So if we do that, I think that we may be able to tackle some of these issues. And government programs should also be well coordinated. It shouldn't be knee-jerk. So for example, if we want to launch any new operation, we should make sure that we involve all the players. The Environmental Protection Agency should be part, the Forestry Commission should be part, Minerals Commission should be part, and we should have the local people, the district should also be part, so that we know that these are the issues we are going to tackle. And once we go there, the community people are able to tell us that these areas are no-go area, and that we are able to follow through our programs.
Table discussion. But let me come to the studio and find out from Chris Gordon. Is there ever sustainable mining? Is there ever mining that is not going to destroy the environment?
You're taking me back almost 30 years when I had this discussion with the then person in Mineral Commission, because they had a document where they said they'll apply where it is practicable. And that statement was there about 18 times and basically made the document totally non-applicable for sustainable. By definition, mining is extractive. So it cannot be sustainable because you are taking out and you're not replenishing. So it's basically a sinking fund. The problem is that other countries have managed that sinking fund in a way that it helps the nation. The best example is Norway and their oil sovereign fund, where they have put so much money from the oil which they had in the 80s, 90s, in such a way that, in fact, they don't even need to pay tax. They have enough money in that fund. We don't have any sovereign fund like that. And even when we do create funds or avenues to collect revenue, environmental levy, plastic tax. The money is not spent on environment or managing plastic. So mining is not sustainable. What we can do, or what we can try to do, is reduce the environmental impact of mining. And that is by, I would say, wise mining or low impact mining. The way we do things now, it seems that we are trying to maximize the environmental degradation for the minimum amount of gold or diamond recovery. So the answer to your question is no, there's nothing like that. And the speaker just now, the key ministry, as far as I'm concerned, in this discourse, is actually the Ministry of Agriculture. Minerals Commission, yes. Water Commission, yes. But it is affecting our food. We are already a net food importer.
Yeah.
We import rice, we import tomatoes, even watermelon we import. So it is our agricultural base that is impacting our cocoa, which is already being impacted by climate change. The long dry spell has caused havoc among the farmers of the north. So it's agric that we have to look at. How can we make young people get into agriculture so that they will move away from Galamsey? I want also to touch upon the mental health aspect of it. You see, when you are living a very dangerous life, where you could die tomorrow, and you're asked to do something different, and you have no training, you have no education, you have no exposure. We have been to a mining community and talked to the people, and they're fully aware of the damage they're doing to the environment and to their health and whatever. So we say, well, so why don't you stop? And the man told us plainly, if I stop Galamsey, the only work I can do is armed robbery. He said it plainly, because he has no training, no skills, but he has a gun, he has a cutlass, he has his strength. He said the only work he can do is armed robbery. So we are destroying the prospects of this country in the future. I mean, I'm over 65 now. When we talk about 2057, I'm not going to be around. I'm not going to be around. This is a problem that is a young person's problem. People like Gladys and yourself. Yeah. You see, you need to, and people of that age, this generation, and the young people. After this, the lady, climate change, Greta Thunberg.
Yes.
She was 13 when she started doing advocacy. And now it's become, even when she speaks, former presidents respond. Trump was always fighting with her. Yeah. So my fear is that we have accepted this as the norm. This is the way, this is how things will be. There'll be a big man somewhere. He has his condo in Dubai. He has his lakeside thing in Florida. Meanwhile, people's children are dying in Ghana to feed that. And we see nothing wrong with it. Just because at the end of the day, somebody gets 400 cedis. You risk your life for 400 cedis or even 200 cedis. Or sometimes you don't get anything that day. And you're buried in a pit.
Okay. So, alternative livelihoods could be the way forward, Gladys?
One of them, yes.
What would be the others?
We need to create awareness.
You think the country, the average Ghanaian on the street, is still not aware of how dangerous galamsey is and the devastating effect?
No. So when we started, I told you, many of us sitting in Accra think that we are untouched by galamsey. We don't know. There's a lot of research finding on the effects, but they have not been explained to the people and in a language or languages that they understand. Or the English we are sitting here talking.
Big English. Big English.
They don't understand. We need to take the advocacy to the people. Go to gather the miners, show them videos, evidence from research. The skin diseases you are having, it's because of the mining. Okay, if you must mine, what is the most appropriate way to do it so you don't suffer the skin diseases? Show them pictures and videos of babies or fetuses who are growing legs on their chest,
Yes.
developing 7 fingers on one hand. Show it to them. Do you know why? I have wondered why, well, I had, now I don't. Why a lot of adverts in Ghana is on aphrodisiac. If you want to be a man, I said, but are these women? It should tell you, and the more adverts they do, it tells you that they get patronage. Younger people, men, who are supposed to be at the prime of their age, are having to resort to aphrodisiac to be able to perform sexually. They don't know. If you visit, there are a lot of infertility clinics around. They don't know. A lot of them are linking it to some old woman sitting somewhere. Yes. They don't know. And these are not uneducated people. They are educated people, but they don't know. They are not linking galamsey to these things. A lot of diseases are happening in the communities, and even here, we do not know. Take it to them. Take the message, the findings, the dangers, take it to them. And take it to them in languages they understand, they know, speak to their hearts.
Would they listen?
Yes,
and
it affects them.
But excuse me, Gladys, I would like you to speak on this issue of the village where the, yes.
All right,
yes.
Okay, so the group, the York UG group, we worked in communities in Etiwa West. Is it west or east? Kwabeng, Abomosu areas. If you see the pictures on TV and you think, oh, this is bad, no, you need to see it with your naked eyes, without glasses, to feel the impact. Cemeteries dug up and so on. But there was one community in that enclave which said no mining. As at 2021, there was no mining activity whatsoever in that community.
Because? Is that chief?
Because the people said they do not like mining. They have seen the devastation all around them. And they were like the buffer stock food production hub for the enclave.
Yeah, but this should tell the people around that it's commonsensical that these people are producing food because they are not
as we speak, they are doing community mining.
Oh.
forced upon them. Some of them, after we had left the community, some of them would call you. They had been hounded, some imprisoned, some called before chiefs for resisting mining. Mr. Yeboah talked about community mining, and he was saying it's become an illegality.
Yeah.
Correct. So when people were resisting, they had been resisting, we went to the community, we stayed there with them. Rains come, children are picking gold nuggets. I could show you videos of it. Small village, clean, food producing. We saw the brooklets, small stream, clean.
But they couldn't withhold the pressure. Someone has to cave in.
They had been, their hands have been virtually tied.
You know, when you started a story,
they have introduced community mining. So the community mining scheme, Mr. Yeboah said, according to the law, it is to allow the local people to mine. These local people say, we don't want to mine. And the powers that be are saying, you must mine.
So long as it's been licensed,
you must mine. And they are not involved. They've brought other people to mine their community. So the young people who are sitting there, they've gone to school. They can think logically. They can reason. Why should somebody come and take what belongs to me? And I sit here and suffer disease and poverty. And that is how Galamsey, rampant Galamsey occurs. So we had this community. It was a model community, and we were planning to sell them, use them as a role model to tell other communities, how do you get back? They've destroyed it.
See, one of the projects we've done under the York
UG
link was called Photo Voice.
Yep.
It was a small project, not a lot of money. We gave people a platform to take pictures, people in the community, of what they see, how they understand by Galamsey. And we prepared posters with narrative and the person who has taken the picture. So they owned it. And we did a traveling exhibition. So they are aware, they know what is going on.
Yeah.
And they will speak out. They will know that what is going on is wrong. And this is why I say that it is a mental problem. Because if you are going to sit there to suffer because somebody outside is telling you this or telling you that, and you cannot resist them, that means you're not a rational adult. You're a puppet being manipulated. Because the gold will finish. It's not sustainable. But what is left behind? What is the legacy? In fact, I work with water, and I've traveled fairly extensively in Ghana. Not that much as I would love to. But I've traveled from Inzulenzo to Jalikope, to Wa and whatever. Where you see the most poverty are these communities where Galamsey is taking place. Where you see the largest poverty and deprivation is in those places. So what happened to the money? What happened to the money?
Wow. Dr. Yeboah, please, are you still on the line? Is Dr. Yeboah on the line? I wanted to find out with, we have about 20 minutes to the end of the conversation. And I want to find out what role is technology going to play in this? In terms of monitoring, in terms of how, because everything is tech-wise, surveillance and all that. What role is technology playing? When you did your work, what role did technology play for you? Because I've just heard photo voices, which I thought was brilliant. Yeah. I was going to check if there's a website or something I can go check it out.
The photo voice, in fact, the people just use their mobile phones to take the pictures. And then they
send them to us, and we have a
put the
discussion.
narrative on it.
And the photo voice that was done in Chebi.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Chebi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but on the question of technology, you see, it doesn't matter what technology we have. We know the problem. We know the extent of the problem. I can see Ghana like a patient in ICU, the intensive care unit. He has every monitoring device around the person. The person is heading towards coma. The technology is not going to save them. We have to try something different because we've tried the business as usual approach for several decades now, and it's not helping us. You see, the definition of small-scale mining is an area under 10 hectares, i.e. 25 acres, and that qualifies as small-scale mine. What happens is that 3 or 4 people will come together, each individual is a small-scale miner, have their concessions side to side, then sell the license to mine to an operator. I won't say Chinese or whatever. It can be Russian also. It can be...
Now we know Russians are involved.
Yes, Malaysians or Brazilians or whatever. So it's no longer small-scale mining. It's no longer small-scale mining with minimal impact. So when you have 10 of those small-scale concessions side to side, all being excavated intensively, what is the end result? Total environmental degradation. So it's not the monitoring, it's not the drones.
It's not the drones, satellites in Beijing.
That is not going to, that just tells us how bad the problem is.
Yeah.
As I say, it's like the monitoring of it, making beep, 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 then you'll go beep. And we are heading towards that beep, where there's no way back. In ecology, we have something known as a tipping point.
Yes, I was going to come to that.
Okay.
How far are we from that tipping point? It's that small.
The real issue is that we do not have the resources to properly assess the entire scope of illegal mining in this country. So we don't know if tomorrow...
We are closer or wow.
But we know that we are closer.
But we don't know
how close. So we are at the edge of the cliff. We are walking towards it. But we don't know if we are 10 meters from it or it's 1 meter. We don't know if the next step is going to take us into permanent environmental and ecological degradation. But as I said, the people who are pushing, the drivers of this, are not around here. Their lives don't revolve around the health of Ghana as a nation. They don't care. It's greed. It's greed at different levels. You have the small-scale greed of the miner that he wants to get something for tomorrow. You have the greed of the woman who's cooked by day and something else by night, and then takes whatever back to the house. You have the greed of the middleman. And everybody is making, so the value chain, there's profit at every level. The chiefs receive royalties, but not royalties, government royalties, by a different form of royalty.
Yeah. Community entry.
Community entry. So I've been told, again, this is a hearsay, that if you want to know where serious galamsey is taking place, you look for chiefs, this is general, chiefs who are driving V8s or Lincoln Escalade or Ford 250, not 150, pickup, the bigger one.
Huge one.
The huge one, yes. You look at those ones, then you look at what resources they have within their community or what business they are running that can let them acquire those things. So you are sitting pretty in your Lincoln Escalade. Meanwhile, your people are suffering. They are suffering.
The cars are gifts.
It's a gift. They're not, they give them, as she said, community entrance. So before you come into my community, you go to the chief with spare car behind you. Oh, Nana, you know, we are coming to do some small work here, but here's some drinks, but we have something outside that, in appreciation, we want you to take.
Mama is bought.
Then they give you all the tips how to avoid trouble.
Yes. So even when the task force is coming to catch you, the chief has mobilized people to make phone calls to tell you that the Operation Vanguard people
Is this down to a breakdown of our value systems as Ghanaians?
Oh, that one. Don't let me talk about that. I have a whole PowerPoint presentation on how our values have changed. And I blame, in quotes, some of the things that we do on media.
Yeah, because we come to the media now.
Fake life.
Fake life. Fake life. So we have created a false expectation in the young people that if you are living life, that means you have to have this, you have to have that. Then I used to teach ethics at my university for one of the courses. And I gave examples of adverts where somebody is, the child is blackmailing the older brother or older sister.
Yeah.
Which should not be the norm. It should be like an alcohol advert that you show only after 10 p.m. So we have created behavior patterns in our young people which do not foster the old value. You know, in the old days, if you are from Ghana and you are going to do PhD in the UK, you go with first degree. No questions asked. With your bachelor's, you go to and you have PhD admission. My wife went like that. Nigerians who were in the UK at that time, when they asked them, where are you from? They say, we are from Ghana. Because of the respect, the way we comported ourselves with dignity and self-pride and national awareness that we are Ghanaians and we are proud of it. Recently, we had something saying that you rather have
Dutch passport.
Dutch passport than a PhD.
To clean toilets.
Yeah, a Dutch passport is better than a Ghanaian PhD.
No, to clean a toilet.
Yeah, to clean toilet.
Yes.
He actually showed a video cleaning the toilet.
Yeah.
They are not generational thinkers.
Yeah.
So you are thinking about now, you are strong, energetic, you can clean toilet. How about when you are 60 plus and your knees are giving way? What will the Dutch passport do for you? They are not thinking about that. So that's what we are doing.
Are damaging us, because what I'm asking the value question, because if I saw the chief in this big one, you know, it would be aspirational for me.
Yeah.
I want to see it as this is what I should also aim for. Yeah. And if the quickest way is to go dig, I'm digging.
Why not?
Yeah, but you see, it goes very deep and much deeper than this conversation can take us to, because it runs through all aspects of our society. When you have pastors who are wearing $5,000 suits and collecting somebody's tithe from a salary of 1,200 cedis, and is happy about that.
Add offering.
Oh, I didn't add offering.
And add so the seed sowing.
See, so you see, we have created a mystique about materialistic things that will bring you happiness. But it doesn't. Yes, money helps. It smooths things, it makes your life easier and things. But at the end of the day, it's not money that is going to make you content. It's not the money that is going to make you satisfied with your life. I use my own self as an example here. My wife and I got married. We had 2 witnesses. We've been together now for over, I don't know, it's getting to, what is it, 40 years or whatever. People now do wedding and spend what they could build a house on that wedding, and then 2 years later, they are separated. So what was the wedding for?
Because they took a loan to do the wedding.
They took a
and
loan.
The first year was a struggle, how to pay the loan.
Yeah, yeah, and fights.
Yes.
Dr. Richmond is back. Dr. Richmond, if you're back on the line, where do you see the media's role in fighting Galamsey?
Thank you very much. I think the media has done really well from the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining led by Kenashige Doc, and then also Erasmus Donko's activities and all that. So for me, the media has done what they are supposed to do. But of course, we have to continue to engage, because I am thinking that, like other panelists mentioned, a lot of people do not know the negative impacts of illegal mining on all of us. And so the media would have to support by making sure that we get people who are who have respect to, as it were, come and educate people on the environmental, social, and the economic impact of illegal mining. And so for me, I think the work done so far is good, but the media needs to continue to engage to make sure that the local people understand the issues that we are talking about. For example, for me, even people who are engaged in illegal mining, they engage in mining, do not even understand what their license is about. So I remember there's a place in Adanse, someone was mining in the river body, and so the people went there to stop the company. So this company came out to say that we have the license to mine. So what it means is that even people who have licenses do not know their limits. And so I think that the media should support in this regard by always highlighting the issues and getting experts to engage to educate the local people and even people who are in the small scale and then community mining schemes.
Let me come back to the studio and find out. So you spoke about a certain area where you would look, and as far as the eye can see, pits and all that. Is there a way of reclaiming it? Is there ever a way things can be turned around? Is all hope lost for a place like that?
Okay. So Prof said mining is like
because it's extractive.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I've seen reclaimed lands, fields before, from the field. And they've attempted to plant cassava and some other trees. I've lived in farming communities several times, so I know I have a farm. I have 2 farms actually, and I have a small farm behind my house. So I know how things like plantain, cassavas, they grow. I saw cassava plants in the reclaimed land. Who is the slimmest person you know? The cassava sticks are struggling to grow. Very tiny, it's like, have you seen a person with kwashiorkor before? Mm-hmm. The plants that have been planted on the reclaimed land looked like kwashiorkor suffering plants. Where are the nutrients in the soil to support the growth of this plant? Now, if you see a tall tree and you fell it, you don't know how many years it has taken for the tree to grow to that height. We can deceive ourselves in saying that, oh, we will do reforestation. When you plant a tree in a good soil, it will take years for the canopy to form and to re-afforest. But when you remove the topsoil, it's a joke. I'm not a scientist, environmental scientist or natural scientist, but from experience, I go to the field, I see that these are suffering plants. So it's not just the human beings, the plants themselves, they are suffering to grow.
Yeah.
And they are scattered. One is here, another one is there. You know, it will take maybe 200 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it takes good soil 100 years. Bad soil.
It's interesting that we've come to this particular aspect because we have a Confucius Institute on our campus, which is to promote relationships between China and Ghana. And we're just about to do a tour to China to look at sustainable energy and ecological restoration. We're trying to create a relationship between a university there because the breakdown of the soils and the environmental degradation is very, very complicated. And you cannot use a simple solution for a complicated problem. So, first of all, you need to try and get rid of the residued heavy metals in it. And we know in other countries, they've done research to find out which plants can extract. So first of all, so it's by stages. One, you have to restore the geomorphology. Then you have to plant with plants which are actually sacrificial plants, which are just trying to extract. Then you need to add organic matter. Then you need to plant your trees and your plants in a different way. Maybe you have to create a high rich environment around every tree that you plant. And the type of tree, you want trees like Lucinia that can fix nitrogen nutrients. You want trees that have a lot of leaf fall to create litter and compost. It is not a simple thing. You cannot just take a bulldozer, flatten the land, fill the holes, and you've restored. No, you have not restored. And that's why we have to do the science. And this is somewhere I disagree with what you just said, Gladys. You may not be a biophysical scientist, but as a social scientist, for our biophysical solutions to work, we need the social scientists.
Oh, yes,
yes.
I was just saying.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying scientifically.
So what I was saying is that I don't have a lab results to back what I'm saying. Even with my naked eye,
yes.
You know
I can see that.
Okay, we have about a minute to go. Just also soon, it's 2 hours gone. The conversation has been exciting. I never even came back to report on the time that is left. Dr. Richmond Yeboah, if you're still on the air, is there hope for Ghana? I'm trying to find out if there is ever hope for Ghana in this Galam Say fight.
I think that we shouldn't give up. Yeah, we shouldn't give up. We have to continue to fight because if we give up, then what it means is that we are defeated and the consequences are very dire on all of us, and it has even impact on our goal to attain the sustainable development goals. And so we have to continue to fight. But I am thinking that government should go back to the drawing table and look at the institutional arrangement. For example, Prof mentioned that it looks as if the Ministry of Agri has been left out. Yes, of course. So we need to engage and see how they can fit in all these fight against illegal mining. Apart from that, what is the sense of having or establishing a tree crop development authority when we are not able to protect the natural forest and our water bodies? So government programs should be very targeting to make sure that instead of talking about afforestation and all that, we protect what we have before we even think about afforestation program. Yeah, they are very important, but for me, if we are not protecting what we have, there's no sense in saying we are doing afforestation, because the issue is that then, of course, we will plant new trees, but we will leave them at their own, at the threat of illegal miners. Then also, we have to continue to engage and make sure that we provide the needed information, knowledge to the local people, knowledge to people who operate in the mining space, so that all of us are aware of the consequences of illegal mining. I think that if we are aware and all of us begin to fight against greed and materialism, we may make progress going into the future.
For those words. So all too soon, our time is up. It's been quite a worrying discussion. Of late, our roundtables have become these kinds of worrying discussions. But you and I would attest to the fact that today's zone has been the most worrying, because this is affecting the very existence of this country. I'm going to leave you with the words Prof. Chris Gordon said concerning even the topsoil falling into the rivers and eroding away. Slowly, we're losing out. And if we combine the effect of climate change, we're in the biggest trouble of our lives. It's something we need to fight together. It's been a round table, and around the table was Prof. Chris Gordon. He is the founding director, Institute for Environment and Sanitation Studies at the University of Ghana. Professor Gladys Nyakwan was also here. She's a co-principal investigator of the University of York and University of Ghana's Galam research team. And then we also had Dr. Richmond Yeboah, head Department of Tourism Management, Cape Coast Technical University. Unfortunately, we couldn't get through to Honorable Isaac A.J. Mensah, Wasa East MP. He's a miner who wanted to touch base with him, but you would understand that maybe in the times we find ourselves in, he might be busy. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a good week, and like I say, this has been the last edition of Z in the Morning for the month of August 2024. What else can we say? It's the whole of the month we've been saying the same thing. If you want to pray, pray, like it only depends on God. But please, still go work, like it only depends on you. Have a good one. We'll be back in the new month of September. Z in the Morning South. My name is Jerry Helm. Have a good one, people.